We've all seen those three letters after someone's name on LinkedIn, PMP. It stands for Project Management Professional, but what does it really translate to in the real world? Is it just another certificate to hang on the wall, or is it a genuine career accelerator?
Well, it's one of the few credentials where you can actually draw a straight line from getting it to your bank account. Let's talk about the PMP. The data shows it pays for itself and fast. We're looking at a 20 to 25% salary increase globally. In the US alone, that means jumping from a median salary of around $91,000 to over $111,000.
Wow, a $20,000 raise just for passing a test? That's a serious return on investment.
Exactly. And it's not just about the money, though that's a big part of it. It's about credibility. It signals a shift from being an accidental project manager, someone who just fell into the role, to a recognized expert. You know, big companies aren't just looking for someone who can manage a spreadsheet anymore. They want someone who has truly mastered the triad of people, process, and the business environment, which is exactly what the PMP tests for.
I see. So it's a universal standard.
It's a professional passport. Here's the real kicker. Because it's a global standard, you could move from a tech firm in Silicon Valley to a construction giant in Dubai, and that PMP credential speaks the same language of efficiency and results. It's instantly understood.
Okay, so the value is crystal clear. But I've heard getting those three letters behind your name is notoriously difficult. The barrier to entry seems high, both in terms of experience and the exam itself.
Oh, it is. To even be eligible to sit for the exam, you need years of documented leadership experience. We're talking up to 5 years if you don't have a 4-year degree. And once you're in, you're facing a 270 minute exam with 180 situational questions. It's not about memorizing definitions. It's more like, what would you do if your main supplier just went bankrupt and your project is due in a week?
Right, so it's a test of judgment, not just knowledge.
That's the part that really catches people off guard. You can't just cram for this. It's a marathon. You have to maintain intense focus for 4.5 hours, making high-stakes decisions literally every single minute. It's less of a knowledge test and more of a 4-5 hour stress test of how you think under pressure.
Because the failure rate for first-timers is so high, it makes sense that people look for an edge. You don't want to have to pay that $405 exam fee twice if you can avoid it. I assume that's where specialized support systems come in.
Exactly. This is where a service like SPOTO becomes a game changer. They provide updated practice tests that are based on real, valid exam items from the past. And what's really valuable is they give candidates access to a remote server where they can get help from certified experts on those complex situational questions that usually trip people up.
So it's about efficiency. You're not just studying, you're practicing for the specific challenge.
You got it. If you're a working professional, you don't have 20 hours a week to read textbooks. Using these practice exams, or dumps as they're sometimes called, isn't about cheating. It's about learning the logic and the rhythm of the exam so there are zero surprises on test day.
That's a great way to put it.
Think of it like a flight simulator for a pilot. You wouldn't want your first time landing a plane to be during a storm with 300 passengers on board. SPOTO essentially lets you fly the PMP exam dozens of times before your $405 fee is even on the line. It's about building muscle memory for decision-making.
It definitely takes the luck factor out of the equation. So let's wrap up with the key things people need to know if they're ready to start this journey.
For sure. First, remember the salary surge. It's a real quantifiable boost, averaging around a $20,000 increase in the US. Second, the prerequisites are strict. You need 3 to 5 years of project leadership experience, so start documenting your work now. Third, be prepared for the exam marathon. 270 minutes, 180 situational questions across people, process, and business. And finally, the strategic advantage comes from studying smart. Using expert-backed practice exams significantly increases your chance of passing on the first try, which is crucial for any busy professional.